let that coffee brew, let that L burn. Meditating on my past and the lessons learned. Wanna live life, wanna find me, wanna rid the impressions of society. Let that coffee brew, let that L burn. Meditating on the past and the lessons learned. Just wanna live life, just wanna be me. Just wanna break these chains and become free.
Welcome to another episode of Talks with Myrt, where we discuss mental health, emotions, spirituality, and the everyday trials of being a human being. Talks inspired by my own personal experiences and conversations I used to have with my mama. I am your host, Myrt's son, and I hope everybody feeling good out there today. And I had a whole different episode lined up for today. I had it uploaded and everything. But today was my brother's birthday, my ancestor. He passed away in 2015. Today was his birthday, and I've been living it up all day. I felt myself about to go into a little sad spot like a couple weeks ago, but one of my homeboys, shout out OG Black, he pulled me up, and my homeboy OG, they put some words of encouragement in me. And, they pulled me up, and I was able to celebrate his birthday today. Feeling good and proud, and to keep living on for him. So happy birthday to Dale Antonio Robinson, bruh, and I'm gonna keep lifting your name. And but thinking about him today, I always start thinking about my family, and I always start thinking about my other ancestors who's passed, my mama and my grandma, and it brought me to thinking about generational curses. This is like one of my favorite subjects to speak about, I guess because I find myself living it on a daily basis. Like generational curses, it comes from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of oppression, not just financially or us being killed or education wise and all of that. Those things, it goes back to us being oppressed, with our feelings, our emotions, and our anxiety and trauma that's been held in and not spoken for or not spoken about. You die with those thoughts, and it gets passed on to your seed. They carry that DNA now. It may be things that they have to try to conquer later on in their life, curses that they gotta break. But it just started me thinking about, my own self, my own life, the different curses that I have to break within my own family. Health being a big one, with my family. My family always suffered from heart problems and kidney problems and different diseases, diabetes, high blood pressure, things that get most of our people nowadays. And I ain't want those same issues. I got a lot of things that I'm building, and I plan on being in for the long haul. So I definitely can't be having these constant trips to the hospital and doctor's offices. And, that was just that's the aggravation alone I don't want. Like, never mind the health parts, but just taking care of myself, making sure that I'm here to give my family and my kids 100%, all the time. Whatever your 100% is that day. We have good days and bad days. Whatever day it's on, just make sure you're giving your all, you feel me? But I just started thinking about, things about my childhood that, might have bothered me or didn't sit right with me and stuff. And I might feel it coming out, when I'm talking with my kids or discipline my kids. Like, for instance, like my mom, she was raised in, the civil rights days in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s where, I think I talk about this a little bit on one of the songs on my album, Divine Intervention. She was raised in a different time period than I'm raised in, I'm raised in, and I'm raising my babies in. She was very strict, be quiet, hush, talking loud in public, and you better do good for these people when you go here, and you know, she was raised, having her feelings and her thoughts and everything oppressed. She can't speak it out in public because of Jim Crow and everything else that's going on in the South. She can't go out here and be herself with her kids or with herself. She can't live talking out loud and going in places how she want to and looking upon for yelling in public. And, I was telling my friend one time before, like, I would never shush my kids in public. I tell them they can't talk loud in public like they kids. They're supposed to be loud. They're not harming nobody. As long as when they know, of course they know when to be respectful. We in quiet places, but public places, like we out in the middle of them Chili's or something, like my kids get loud, don't be looking at me like I'm crazy. Like my kids can be loud, you know what I'm saying? They ain't harming nobody, But my mom be real strict on me about those things. And, I realized later is reasons why, I might lack confidence, later on in my life. And this is literally, I'm speaking about some real shit here. Like, I think the way that, how strict my mom was with me is, reasons why I felt to go out here and give my all when I'm out here performing in the day-to-day with my crafts and, working on my dreams and, being a father or and a husband. I lack confidence sometimes. I get told all the time how great of a person, how great of a father, how great of an artist, how great of everything I am. But I had to get to the point where I can see these things for myself. And I felt this because I was lacking confidence. And, this comes from the restrictions that I had to have coming up. And it wasn't always things like just speaking in public and is having to behave a certain way, for people when I go places, school, church, or, wearing a suit here, getting your hair cut, like all these things that restrict me from being me. Not being able to go out here and see what interests me because I got to do what's right for mama and what everybody else go think. You know what I'm saying? Like, like an example now, like I always talk about being free and getting free. And when I say that, it's a feel of expression, like being free to express myself and be me 100%. To me, that is the ultimate freedom. And I speak on that a lot. And like me growing my hair out, I started growing my hair out at the top of the year. And that was the ultimate freedom to me, letting my hair grow however it want to grow. It's going to lock up and do what it want to do. I'm going to let it do that. But to me, it was more than just hair. I was learning why people embrace their locks the way they do. It's a part of them. It's a way of expressing themselves. And I wanted to feel that. And me, I'm always the extreme guy. What is the ultimate way to do that? I'm going to grow my hair out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And over the years, I get so fed up with barbers or my barber situation don't go how I wanted to go. And I was always fishing for a new barber. And it was the most aggravating shit to me. Like, I hate having to do that. I take my son to the barber shop, to get his cut. But I never like being in a barber shop. Like, it's cool, but like I be ready to go. Like, I'm ready to get back to my me time. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's cool every now and then, but the barbershop thing is the way in and all of that. It wasn't me. I ain't got time for that. I always felt like I didn't have time for that. Like, so why was I going to the barbershop still? These barbers situations are not working out and you really don't want to be there. Like, why are you really going? I'm going because mama told me that I need to have a haircut to impress these white folk. Or I need to have a haircut on these interviews. Or I need to have a haircut to go to church. I got to have a haircut that look like myself. And I had days where I might, going on close to a month, hadn't had a haircut. And I look in the mirror and I'm looking at myself and I'm looking like I don't look that great because my head ain't cut. Ignoring all the natural parts of my hair and seeing me look fuzzy. Like, that's all natural. That's how you supposed to look, bruh. You know what I'm saying? But that restriction I had, that thing I had about getting my hair cut, I wasn't doing it for me. And that's one thing I watch my ancestors do. You know, they lived for society, or they lived how they felt like they had to be for certain people, or they had to be, you know, this place and that place. And they wasn't able to be themselves 100%. That's why they was stressed the hell out. That's why you see our parents, you know, stressed and, you know, going through depressed sometimes at work, or they don't always look and feel like themselves because they've been hiding themselves all this time, you know, at work, working these 40, 60, 70 hours a week, you know, spending all this time in church. You know what I'm saying? Not saying the church is a bad place, but, you know, having this place where you got to wear this hat where you can't fully be yourself. You know, it tears you down on the inside. That's like if you need to paint to feel alive, but you can't paint because you're not accepted into the corporate world, this job where you're making all this money. You know, you're not accepted into the corporate world if you're an artist. So now you don't paint, and you living and you missing out on this beautiful thing that you love and you enjoy because you got to work to make this little bit of bread. Not a little bit, it might be a lot of bread, but it's a little bit of bread compared to what you missing out on yourself, you know. And, you know, I watched my ancestors do that. I had good times with my brother. Like, my brother was so cool, man. Like, any room he walk in, like, it's a celebration. I just put that on one of my Instagram posts today. I was just thinking about him. Like, he gonna show up. He either got his beer or he got his herb. And, you know, he finna chill out. He finna chill. He gonna kick his feet up. He finna laugh. He gonna have you laughing, cutting jokes on you, telling jokes, telling old stories. Like, man, he was the light of the party. And that's why I was glad that I got to really celebrate today. I really got a chance to really go in for him and really think about him in a good way. Because he been gone 5 years now. And I have some years to where it gets around this time of year. Because my mom passed November 14th. So around this time of year, I just get like, you know, sad sometimes. And I had a couple good years throughout this 5 years. But I'm glad that, you know, things are feeling good for a G right now. So I can keep, you know, riding these good spirits. But I was thinking about them and these generational curses today. Just things that I learned just by evaluating their life. When I went through that depression, I had to sit down and sort my life out. You know, what kind of man I wanted to be, what I really want to go out here and do, how much effort am I about to put into this? Just real decisions that you got to make about yourself. I had to do that, and evaluating where my ancestors had come from and the life they lived was important, because I got to do it better for my babies to pass something on good to them. That's what I wanted to do, is to better myself so I can go out here and give my best to them and make sure they're living a great life, or living the best life that they can. They're cherishing life. You know, they're appreciating life, you know, and they are being themselves 100% all the time. And I've been learning to do that, you know, and that was one of the things I evaluated from looking at my ancestors doing those meditations I was having during my depression, is I have to go out here and learn to be myself. I have to go out here and be myself. And that's how I'm going to get free. That's how I'm going to break all the other curses that I feel like that's been hurting our family. You know, that's how I do it, is I go out here and put my best foot forward every single time. Every single time I go out here. Every single time I wake up in daddy mode. Oh, I'm in husband mode. You know, giving my all. Making sure my kids see that. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how I feel. Just making sure that I'm the best me during that time. And but breaking those generational curses, health-wise, finances. You know, I watch my family. You know, wasn't nobody in my family rich. You know, they all work jobs. You know, straight jobs. And, I'm grateful for them jobs because them jobs kept a roof over my head, clothes on my back. I experienced holidays. I ain't had no poor childhood. I see my mom, she may have to ask for money sometimes and borrow money sometimes to get us through, or, things that you got to do when, like, I done had to do working this 9 to 5, just to get by, sometimes, but me, that was a generational curse I wanted to work towards and wanted to break. Not that working a 9 to 5 is bad for anyone. I always reiterate that because, I'm always speaking from a personal experience. So, I'm always speaking from getting free, and working a 9 to 5 is not part of me getting free. Like, it may be part of the process now, but it's a part that ain't supposed to be in the bigger picture. I'm working on building things for myself, showing my kids that they can build things for themselves and that their daddy left them something that's going to help them out to do that. And they can use that same thing for their children. That's the type of wealth and happiness I want to build. That kind of generational wealth and breaking those generational curses. Knowing that our people suffer from holding in anxiety and not expressing themselves and not talking about their hurts and not talking about their traumas. Me having knowledge of knowing how that has hurt a lot of our people. Because that's what causes depression. That's what causes us to not give a damn about this life, make us not want to press on, to make us feel so hopeless at times. It's because you holding that shit in. Like, you got to let it out. You got to vent. You got to be yourself. You got to express yourself. And I do it all the time. And I teach my babies to do the same thing. Like we used to get in trouble for, speaking our mind to our parents. It might be the truth, but it was considered as talking back. So if my kids say something that they don't agree with, I don't punish them for it. I hear them out because they're human too. And they deserve that. They deserve to be able to speak their freedoms. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to restrict themselves in any way at all to where they lack confidence later on in life, or they feel like they can't express themselves, or they feel like they can't release. I never want to do anything that's going to stunt their growth. And not saying, my parents doing that to me was this awful thing. Like, nah. Like, I'm grateful for every single ass whooping that I ever received. I'm grateful for every time that I've been yelled at or scolded, or I'm grateful for all of that. I'm grateful for how strict my mother raised me, because it's been a beautiful journey to get to the level to where I can overcome it now and realizing these things. So that way I can show my kids and they can show their kids how they evaluate themselves and evaluate their problems so they can figure out what's going on inside so they can grow from it. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for everything that my ancestors did for me. But we got to get to the point till we realize we can't do it how mama did it. You know what I'm saying? That's another song I did on my last album, Divine Intervention. We can't do it how mama did it. We got to do it differently. We're grateful for how she did it, but we got to do it differently. That's how you break these generational curses. And it be hectic. It be real hectic. Like I was speaking on before. Like I don't whoop my kids. I don't whoop my kids at all. Not because my mama whooping my ass was bad, but because of I realized how I felt after those whoopings. I love my mama to death and I respected her, but I feared her as well. And I didn't like that fear part. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like that. And I never wanted my kids to feel that way about me. So I had to figure out how I can discipline my kids without, whooping them. And I did it. And I just talked to them like little human beings. When they do something wrong, ask them why they did it. Not the serious conversation with them. I don't have to worry about them doing it again because they comprehended what I said, you know. And there's nothing wrong for anybody who whoops their kids' ass because cause I know our kids could be. Some of these little jokers deserve it. They do. Mine deserve to be damn backslapped sometimes, but they babies and they gotta learn. So you discipline yours how you discipline yours. But my mama whooped my butt, and that ain't my way of doing things. So that's a way I wanted to start a new way of doing things in my generation, in our bloodline. That you could just have a conversation with your babies, and you ain't gotta put your hands on them. I admire that about myself, and it helps them out because they know how to speak up for themselves. It's by talking. And it's a beautiful thing just watching them grow in that way and knowing that I did it without having to inflict pain. I was just very proud of that. And getting so strict with them. I was so strict how my mother used to be strict on me, and I had to catch myself at one point, and I was having this battle inside of me. Like every time I did something differently than the way my mama would did it, I felt like I was doing something so wrong. Like I was going against a word, or thou say whoop that butt, like I'm going against it because I ain't doing it, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong. And I had to come to a realization within, that I'm my own individual. I am not my mother. I am not my grandmama. I am not auntie. I am an adult now. I'm my own human being. I can do things the way I want to do it. It don't have to be the way they did it. And it took me a while to break that within myself. Cause I be feeling anxiety like that me not whooping my kids things. I probably popped them one time, probably like one time each. They were like one or two. But that was like the only time. Cause after I did it that one time, I had that conversation with myself. Cause I just felt so wrong by doing it. But I realized that anytime, but the reason I was feeling so wrong about doing it and feeling that way is because anytime that you're trying to grow, or anytime that you're trying to, transform or become your better self, is going to be resistance. Because there's your old self and your past and everything else, your ego that's trying to keep you in that comfort zone. And you can't stay there. Like you got to grow, like you got to become yourself. You got to become yourself in everything that you do. And like I realized, like my mother, she really wanted me to go to college. And I owe 12 G's in college money now. The Fannie Mae because it's Sally Mae because I went to school and I was doing it for my mama. I was doing it because she really wanted me to go to school. She felt like, me going to school is achieving everything. And I tried it. And, it was horrible. And I hated school because of the restrictions. All the restrictions that I felt. It felt like some of the same restrictions that, that she kind of placed upon me by wanting to conform to society. I felt like I was being a part of a system. Like I hate restrictions. I hate feeling like I have to be something other than myself. And the reason I couldn't find myself in school and in church and all of the things that I grew up involved in was because it wasn't me. And it's important to me to make sure that my kids realize that as well, that you can go out here and there ain't no limits. You can go out here and do anything, be anything, think anything, do whatever you want. You can do it. You're free. Just find out who you are and find out what you want to pursue and go get it. Just go accomplish it. We can't let what society and what our family and what our ancestors and what the past and history may say keep us from evolving to a better us, a better self. You know what I'm saying? That's how you break generational curses. Is the things about yourself that are great, you live on those things. You cherish those things. The parts about yourself that you don't like, that you realize there's room for growth, that you realize that you need to change because it has stunted your ancestors' growth so many times, for so many years, for so many generations, then you just fix it. Start working on it. Show your babies how to overcome it. That's how you grow. You got to acknowledge these things. You got to acknowledge your truths. There's a bunch of truths like about my father, different truths that came out about him. Him having different kids all over the place and stories with him with women. I started seeing traces of that throughout my life, and I had to check it. Call out that I was a cheater, call out that I was a liar. Realize that shit is not okay and fix it. You know what I'm saying? So my dad's stories, that'll be the last time you hear about it. Like, that'll be it. I won't have these same battles that he faced. My last album is dedicated to him. He had a lot of complexities with it himself that he didn't get to figure out before he left here. And I realized that some of the same things that I was facing during my depression. And I had to sit down and overcome it to make sure that, I don't leave this earth before I get to figure those things out and plant those seeds into my kids so they can grow to be better. They can eat better. They can work out. They can dream. They can not feel like they have limits upon them by society or their past. You know what I'm saying? They can go out here and just be them 100%. And I feel that's how you break these generational curses. I speak on it so much. It's just really, really important. Everybody want a better self. They want a better world. They want a better place. All that shit start from the inside. It start from the inside. Working out those things about you that's gonna make you blossom. You figure out how to shine that light into somebody around you, and it keeps shining. It shine everywhere, and we just keep growing and keep getting better. Keep planting them seeds into your children. All the better parts of yourself, put them into your kids. Face those bad parts of yourself so you won't have none to pass on to your kids. You know what I'm saying? It's very possible to break these generational curses. Me going out here living my dreams and doing what I want to do, is like the ultimate freedom to me. And, I know my ancestors told me their dreams and their passions, and they didn't get to pursue them. So I'm going to make sure that I damn well go out here and I do it. And I'm going to teach my babies how to keep doing it and keep building. But I ain't going to hold y'all too long. I really do appreciate y'all chatting it up with me today. We can change the world. It starts with ourselves. Any change that you want to see in this life, it begins with self. You just got to believe in yourself, be patient with yourself, and watch self blossom. I'm your boy Myrt, son, and I'll holler at y'all next week. Happy birthday to my brother Dale, Antonio Robinson. Peace to everybody.
Let that coffee brew, let that L burn. Meditating on my past and the lessons learned. Wanna live life, wanna find me. Wanna rid the impressions of society. Let that coffee brew, let that L burn. Meditating on the past and the lessons learned. Just wanna live life, just wanna be me. Just wanna break these chains and become free.